Hey guys, happy Easter. I hope you're all having an amazing time. Today I decided to switch up my Easter recipes and do a Japanese inspired Easter. So let's see what I am cooking. So to start, I am going to start by bringing a pot of water to a boil. So I am also going to chop up some potatoes just into small cubes. You want them to be about 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. That way they cook quicker. And this will be for our Japanese potato salad, which is very simple to make. So the secret to boiling potatoes is you want to start them in cold water. Mine is still fairly cold, so I should be okay here to toss them in as quickly as I can. And then we're going to cook them until we can poke them with a fork, and the fork goes in very smoothly, so it's like very tender. Now while our potatoes boil, I am going to prep 1/4 of a cup of red onion. So we need about 1/4 of this onion will be 1/4 cup because I have a fairly small red onion here. But you can measure it if you want, and I'm just going to roughly eyeball how much I'll need. And I'll show you a trick to make the onion not so oniony. So what I am going to do for my red onion is I'm going to get some cold water just from your tap is fine. And then I am simply just going to place my onion into the water, and that'll help to mellow it out so it's not too intense. And now to a bowl that we will be placing our potatoes in, we are going to add in 6 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of rice wine vinegar, half a teaspoon of mustard, so about that much, and just a small squirt of sriracha, just to give it a nice heat. You can leave that out if you have kids. Now give that a mix to combine, and then after our red onion soaks, we are going to add it into this mixture. I gave mine a quick taste with a separate spoon to ensure it's good, and it is really good. So we'll wait for our potatoes to finish so we can put them in here. Don't forget to add in your red onion. You can always use onion powder if you're not a fan of fresh onions, but the fresh onion really does take it over the top. For our potato salad, we are also going to add in 2 hard-boiled eggs, so I'll add those when the water comes to a boil and boil them for about 6 to 8 minutes. And now that our water's nice and hot, I am going to take some unshelled edamame, and I am just going to let it sit in the hot water for about 2 minutes, just so that the edamame cooks through and reheats. And then I'll show you what to do with that next. And using the hot water from our potatoes for our eggs and our potatoes and our edamame is so handy because you don't have to worry about doing everything separately and using more resources. So for the edamame, I should also point out you want to boil them until the color becomes a nice, bright, vibrant green. That way you can tell it's thoroughly cooked through, and you want to put them under some cold water or ice water if you have it immediately after you take it out so it retains that color. Or in other words, we're essentially going for a blanch. So you can see how nice and green these are. We're just going to put them under some cold water to stop the cooking process. And simply to finish the edamame, you are just going to salt them with a nice pinch of salt and give that a nice little mix. And you notice how I put the edamame in this? This is just so it's easy to take out, so I don't have to worry about them mixing with my potatoes. I'm going to do the same thing with the eggs as soon as this comes up to a boil. And now that this has come to a boil, I'm just going to give my potatoes a quick stir, turn down my heat to a medium-high, and set my eggs in. And I'm going to set a timer for 8 minutes. Every now and then, you're going to want to lift your eggs up out of the water, give the potatoes a quick stir, and set the eggs back in just to ensure the potatoes cook evenly. And now that my eggs are done boiling, I am just going to set them off to the side, and I am going to drain my potatoes. And now that my potatoes are drained, I am just going to dump them into the sauce, or the salad dressing, if you will. And then I am going to reserve the pot for my mochi. I am also going to add in my eggs to that mix, just to give it the opportunity to kind of mingle with everything else and get flavored. To mix everything together and kind of break it up, I am going to lightly mash my potatoes. I don't want it to be absolutely smooth, but I do want it to kind of be chunky and smooth at the same time. So a nice in between. And then we can give that a taste test as soon as we're done. And now while that goes, I have some water coming to a boil. And I am going to add 1 1/4 cups of glutinous rice flour to a measuring cup. And to that, I am going to add just over 1/4 cup of icing sugar. And I am going to place it into a medium-sized bowl and give that a good mix up, just so it's nice and combined. Woo. This recipe does use food coloring, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not all about that dye life. And in case you didn't know, this is going to be essentially mochi on a stick. And now to our glutinous rice flour. That's what I used for the 1 1/4 cup and the 5 tablespoons of icing sugar. I am going to add in 10 tablespoons of boiling water and I'm going to give that a stir. Now essentially what you're going to do is you're going to mix this, and you want it to kind of come into like a mochi ball. So just keep kneading with the spoon until it kind of forms into a ball. And that's how you can tell it's ready. I'll show you what it should look like in a second. And it will be sticky at first, the mochi balls, and that's perfectly okay too. It will come together over time. And now let's get back to our mochi. So I might need a bit more glutinous rice flour just because it's not really forming into a ball yet. So add as you see fit. That's starting to look a lot better with that addition. I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. I am debating whether I want to use food coloring and make this look presentable or not. Debating. Not quite sure yet. So as soon as it mixes, it'll kind of look like this. It's all nice and together and kind of stays together. And then I am just going to add a little bit of my glutinous rice flour onto my countertop. Make sure you have a clean countertop too. And I am just going to simply add this on top of the flour. And I am going to form it and shape it into 3 rolls. So get it nice and floury first, roll it into a log, flatten it out, try to get it as even as possible. And then I am simply just going to cut into 3 separate things. And then I am going to cut each one into roughly 5 pieces, and I'm going to put them in separate areas just so I don't mix them together. If you wanted these to be colored, you would do that before you cut them into these portions. But right now I am just going to roll them out because apparently a decision has been made to keep them white. I'll do that and I'll show you what to do next. So here's a little fun fact. You can always tell a decent dessert that comes from Asia because they describe it as not too sweet, which is a good thing in their particular culture. So if you can make these not too sweet, it'll be perfect. And now that I got all my mochi balls rolled out, I'm going to bring some water to a boil. And I am just going to give each ball a roll in the leftover glutinous rice flour so it doesn't stick to the bottom. I'm going to do that right now, but ideally you want to do it right before you drop them into the water so that they don't stick to the bottom of the pot. And now that this has come to a boil, I'm just going to turn down the heat a little bit. And 2 by 2, I am going to lightly drop these into the water. And I'm going to boil these until they start floating. That's how you know they're done. And I also want to give this a quick mix just to ensure nothing sticks to the bottom. And wait till they float. And while the mochi go, I am just going to clean up my counter a bit, just so that I don't leave it a mess, not that I would anyway. But it's always nice to have a nice clean kitchen. I cleaned up the flour by taking a bench scrape, by the way, which is essentially like a flat, here I'll show you, one of these. And it really helps so that the flour doesn't stick to the counter when it gets wet. And then you just go in and wipe it down after. My mochis are about to float, so I'm going to keep an eye on them and drain them when they're floating. And now they are floating, so I am going to turn off my heat. And I am going to drain these. And now to make them really special, I am simply just going to take one mochi at a time. Then I'm going to shove it down a bit, or push it down to be more nice about the term. And I am just going to skewer 3 on a skewer. And there we have Django. I got a couple more left to do, and I'll see you back here in a second. And just a helpful hint, if you wet your hands a bit, it won't be as hot on them. So I highly recommend doing that. So before we continue on and I show you the meal so far, I am just going to let you know that there will be a part 2 of this where I make my main dish, which is going to be a honey glazed ham done in a Japanese-ish style. So with that being said, look forward to that episode next, and let's see what it looks like now. So far, let me get you a nice shot. So this was the edamame we did, the potato salad, and finally our mochi. Now the mochi will need to cool for a bit. You can eat it hot, but I have a sensitive mouth, so I'll try those on my own. But right now I'm going to try the edamame and the potato salad. And now let's get a bite of that potato salad with a bit of red onion. So the edamame has that nice salty kick, and I really do love a good edamame. If you're not a huge edamame fan, you can also do like green beans or broccoli and just boil them the same way, and they'll be good as is. But me, I went traditional with some edamame, and it paid off in the end. The potato salad, like you would expect something saltier or something like, just something way saltier in my opinion. If you feel like it does need a little salt, you can add that, but I am just going to keep this simple and do it without the salt. It is nice and flavorful, and with the red onion isn't too intense, and everything else gives this a really nice flavor. So if you're into potato salad, definitely try out this version of it, and it'll totally be worth it. And the mochi, I'll have to remember to let you know later. Can't make any promises, I will. Remind me if I forget. And with that being said, so far this is worth it, and stay tuned for my next episode for the continuing of my Japanese Easter dinner, and I am going to finish off with a main. If that sounds good to you, stay tuned, welcome to my kitchen, and let's see what I am cooking next. Hey, banana editing me here. I just tried the mochi and it is really good. It's not too sweet, but it has enough sweetness to make you go, this is awesome.